All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's been crazy news days over the last couple of days, and it continues here. But before we do jump into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy daily gaming news content. And if you are been watching for a while, as I see about 50% of you have been, and you have not hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, help the channel grow. We'll really appreciate it. And also check out my Spotify link is in the description. But we'll talk about this because I didn't talk about it yesterday, and I see comments, people say, why didn't you talk about this? And I didn't talk about it because I really think there is absolutely nothing to this rumor at all. I think this is just kind of an insane reach, and I don't believe this is going to happen. And if it does happen, I'll come on here and I will say that I was completely wrong. But we have this tweet here from Dior, who their account says capital markets, video games, and law. They're on Twitch and they have 16,000 followers. And they put this tweet out saying, with approximately 80 billion CCE, Microsoft is preparing an offer of $16 billion for Valve, no stock and all cash. And this has completely started a rumor going around that Xbox is trying to make another acquisition right now. And that acquisition is going to be Steam. And if that were to happen, it would be, I think, even more game-changing than ABK, because they will be purchasing up the most popular ecosystem on the platform, which is PC, that has a ton of room for growth, and it's the number one place where PC gamers play. It would just change the entire game. It would mean that Xbox has literally taken over all the PC marketplaces and platform, as well as they still have the Xbox console, and then they'll be the essentially leaders in cloud. So it would be absolutely insane. But I think this is just a random claim, to be completely honest. And there is a reader's context here, a note here, the community note that says there's no official confirmation of the information or journalistic articles, just a document leaked years ago showing Microsoft's interest in possible purchase of Valve, which was consulted whether they would accept it. And this is something we did see during the Microsoft documents leaks back in September. There was a bunch of information that they were actually looking at Valve and seeing kind of, okay, well, how would this look if we were to go out and purchase them? It says in one of those documents, we see an email exchange between Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, Chief Marketing Officer Chris Capicella, and Commercial Chief Marketing Officer Takeshi Numoto from 2020, loosely titled Random Thought. The trio talks up the odds of pulling an ambitious acquisition of Nintendo off, which Spencer says would be a career moment if that came to pass. So that was included in there. And again, that was just, I would say, banter between everybody and thinking, oh man, imagine if they were able to get Nintendo. And then we have here that it says less is said of Valve, though Spencer does mention the Steam storefront operator and games developer alongside Nintendo. At the point, Microsoft has been seen a full write-up on the pair and would fully support an acquisition if the chances arise. So basically, this is just kind of the only information we have right now that Xbox, Microsoft would potentially be interested in purchasing Valve, saying that if there was a chance there, we would make an offer and we would want to purchase Valve and want to purchase Steam here. And that's kind of where I think all of this is coming from. I really do not believe that there is any legitimacy to this rumor, but we could talk about what would happen if this was the case. It would be absolutely insane. It would have Steam, Xbox One ecosystem. They would probably try to integrate everything and have just one marketplace where PC gamers, console gamers can go access everything from your games on Steam to your games on Xbox to your friends list to your achievements. Probably try to make everything in one place. They would have consoles where you can access all this stuff, and you can also obviously do it on your PC, kind of what they do right now, but it would just make that ecosystem that much bigger, and they would be the dominant player not only on PC but also in, I think, the console market, because you would have, I think, PC players flocking out there and considering picking up a console just to maybe have as a side piece for their PC, or if they have a weaker PC and they've been waiting to upgrade but they just don't have the cash for like a more expensive GPU, if they know all of their Steam options and games are available on a cheaper Xbox console, maybe that's something they would consider. It would have huge waves, I think, throughout the entire industry if this was to happen, but I don't believe it is going to happen. And especially right now, with the industry shrinking and the layoffs and the scrutiny from the FTC that Xbox did get with ABK, there would be tons of scrutiny on this as well. But I'm not the only one weighing in on this. You do have Jez weighing in on this, and he gives a bit of information here, which is kind of interesting. He says, even if that rumor of Microsoft buying Steam has any legs, UK regulators ain't going to let it happen. No way. And then Someone responds and says, more likely a partnership to expand Microsoft's multi-plat approach. Wouldn't be surprised to see Steam on the next Xbox. And Jess says 100% Steam is on the next Xbox. So I guess however you take Jez, whether you believe he is reliable or not, he here is claiming that 100% Steam will be on the next Xbox. And this is kind of something that we have heard potentially happening going forward, where Xbox kind of wants to open up their platform even more to bring in the PC players so that know that it is an option to be able to access their Steam on the Xbox consoles. I think this would be a phenomenal move. And honestly, I think this move will be better overall for everybody than just Microsoft and Xbox going out there and acquiring Steam. Just give people that option to be able to access their PC games and access their Xbox games in one place, whether that is on a console or that is on a handheld that they are going to make, or that is on a mobile app that will include cloud gaming as well, and eventually being able to play your games through the cloud that you've purchased. It would be a phenomenal ecosystem, and I really hope this is kind of the next evolution to the Xbox Everywhere thing that they have been talking about. It's just giving us more availability to access and play our games on the Xbox devices that, if you're a fan of them, that you enjoy. I'm a fan of the Xbox devices, and I will absolutely be purchasing the next Xbox and the handheld that they do put out. So if they can open that up, give me Steam as well, I am all for that. So very interesting time here. I think this is pointing towards Xbox having a huge advantage over other platforms, over PlayStation, if they can get Steam onto the next Xbox itself. And if PlayStation doesn't, I think that's a huge win and a huge advantage for Xbox going forward. So we will see how all this plays out. But I would say don't expect Xbox to be offering $16 billion to Steam. I just don't really see that happening. And again, if I am wrong, I will absolutely come on here and tell you I was wrong. They did make that offer. But let's jump over here and let's talk Call of Duty, because this is going to be the first time in a very long time that Call of Duty is being marketed with Xbox. Of course, because now they own the IP, they own the franchise. This is going to be a game changing, as every generation, wherever Call of Duty lands, it has changed the landscape of where people play their games and how much money these platforms do make. Mainly because of the fact that it's just so big. It's the #1 selling game out there. We saw the 360 have marketing rates, which really helped them out. Then we saw the PS4 have the marketing rates for Call of Duty. And now we're finally seeing it come back to Xbox with the Series X and S and Xbox Game Pass. And when they announced the June showcase, there was guessing as to what the redacted showcase was, but people pretty much knew it was for Black Ops 6. And now all of this has been confirmed from Xbox themselves. They do tweet this out. They say, GG to all who guessed right. Don't miss the Xbox games showcase, followed by a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct on Sunday, June 9th at 10 a.m. So I guess that's the official name, Black Ops 6. It isn't Gulf War, unless they're just using the Black Ops 6 right now for the initial branding before they reveal the real name of the game. But that is extremely exciting. I mean, we're going to have a huge Xbox game showcase where we're expecting a lot of stuff to be announced, lots of games still to be coming out this year, Game Pass surprises and announcements. And then following that, we're going to see the new Call of Duty and hopefully get the announcement as to it coming in to Xbox Game Pass and all of those types of things. So very exciting time if you're an Xbox fan right now going into June and everything. Lots of positive things here to discuss and talk about, and I will definitely be discussing all of those things as we do go forward. Now, when it comes to Black Ops, apparently this game has been playable now for about 2 years. They've been working on this and obviously putting it through its testing and everything, and it's people have been being able to check it out. We do have this person tweeting out that I've been playtesting this one for 2 years. Y'all aren't ready for Black Ops 6. And every year we get the reveal for Call of Duty. We hear about the next Call of Duty. To me, I always fall for the hype. Like, I always get super excited for it. And I do play these games when they do come out and when they do launch. And I do enjoy them. Like, I've enjoyed Modern Warfare 3. I've enjoyed the last couple of iterations of Call of Duty. But Black Ops has always been the franchise for me that really, really pulled me in. Black Ops and MW2 specifically were the ones that really pulled me into the franchise back during the Xbox 360 era. And I've always liked the Black Ops games. So Black Ops 6, I can't wait to see what they do with it, how it looks, how it plays, the setting that they are going to be going for. I think it's going to be really cool. And we're going to get more information about all of this on June 9th. All right. Let us talk about some PlayStation stuff here. We have a couple of PlayStation things to go over. And Sony had a call, an investor's call, I guess you could say, a creative entertainment vision call yesterday. Now, there really wasn't anything there that exciting if you're a gamer, if you're a PlayStation fan in terms of video games coming out, which I wonder if PlayStation is going to be having that showcase anytime soon, because we need to hear something about their roadmap sooner rather than later. It's getting kind of extremely dry now when this is really the only stuff PlayStation has to talk about. But there was some concepts that were thrown out. This kind of looks cool. It says futuristic PlayStation controller shown as Sony presents its creative entertainment vision. You can see here kind of what they are going for. Just completely pie in the sky type of stuff here. A floating screen and then extremely futuristic looking controller. But they say the video, which is viewable below, includes a brief look at a futuristic gaming controller being used to control a character soaring through space. And they say 10 years from now, we will be living in a more multi-layered world where physical and virtual realities overlap without boundaries. If Sony as a creative entertainment company will be filling the world with the Nintendo in that future, what kind of experimental value will we be offering to make that happen? They say to explore this question, we conducted prototyping exercises under the concept of creative entertainment vision. Envisioning through the lens of Sony's creative and technology, here we present the future as an extension of our lives today. And with that future and the extension of lives, this is kind of what they came up with this gaming type of thing, where you just really need to bring a controller, I guess, and then that's it. And you're going to be able to access all of your games by projecting a screen out in front of it. That could be something eventually that we do see. Maybe you have glasses on or something. We already have some pretty cool glasses technology where you get big screens in front of you, but then just being able to play all your games seamlessly, maybe through the cloud, some sort of other connection, and having those games look and run smoothly. That's going to be, I think, the biggest hurdle for a lot of the future of video games. But Sony is looking towards the future, and that wasn't the only thing that they do kind of talk about. They also have this information here, and it has to do with Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann. Now, this comes out at, I think, a very, very convenient time, as we just got Hellblade 2. And Hellblade 2, I don't think there is a video game that looks better than it. It is definitely that evolution that a lot of people wanted to see graphically as to what this generation of consoles could be giving us, or even what the future could hold when it comes to just real-time, realistic-looking graphics. It is absolutely phenomenal. And Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog are seemingly trying to do that as well, trying to redefine the mainstream perceptions of gaming. At the same presentation, the creative entertainment vision and interview was published to coincide with the event, and Druckmann was asked to share details about a personal vision or dream project that he wants to see realized. And here's what he says. He says, "I've been lucky to work on several dream projects, and I'm currently excited about a new one, which is perhaps the most thrilling yet." He says, "There's a growing appreciation for gaming that transcends all age groups. Unlike when I was growing up, this shift is highlighted by our venture into television with The Last of Us, which I hoped would bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers." They say the show's success has spotlighted gaming, illustrating the rich, immersive experiences it offers. This visibility excites me not only for our current project, but for the broader potential of gaming to captivate a global audience. I'm eager to see how this new game resonates, especially following the success of The Last of Us, as it could redefine the mainstream perceptions of gaming. So kind of, I guess, whatever that means. But I believe what he is essentially saying here is that he wants to bring the games become more like those major cinematic experiences. And obviously Sony is known for that with their third-person action adventure games. They are very cinematic, they are very linear, and people love those. And then we just saw Hellblade 2. People loved it as well, but there are also people that are very critical of it, but it's kind of what Sony does. It's what they do with their styles of games. Very cinematic, very linear, and what they're trying to do, push here, is make those games more mainstream, where you don't really have to know and be aware of all of these in-depth gaming mechanics to get through these styles of games, but they're there to tell a story and be really flashy in terms of the graphics. So I'm guessing that's kind of what Naughty Dog is going to be pushing more towards. They're probably looking at Hellblade and looking at what they were able to do graphically and in awe of that. And I feel like they are going to try to reach those levels of graphics with their games going forward. It will be interesting to see the reception. How can they expand on that, though, as well? Because one of the main criticisms that people do have of Hellblade 2 is the combat and the gameplay mechanics. For a lot of people, it just was not in depth enough. But I feel like with these styles of games, they're more experiences. They're more just trying to get you through a story with gameplay elements put in there. There is a place for that. And again, I think that honestly is more in the mainstream elements of video games. And Naughty Dog, with their storytelling ability, I think could definitely give us some pretty interesting things here. So all just kind of pie in the sky stuff from Sony with their creative entertainment vision, show or call or presentation, whatever you want to call it. But I'm hoping that we get some information of actual games they are putting out sooner rather than later. All right, let's talk about the UK and passing a bill that will now force Apple to allow Fortnite and Epic Games Stores apps on iOS. And I think this is going to have effects not only for Fortnite and Epic Games, but also potentially for Xbox going forward, as we know that they are making an Xbox mobile store. This will also have effects on PlayStation, as they are making a PlayStation mobile platform, free-to-play games. All of these big gaming companies are trying to get into this because they know that's where big growth is and that's where a ton of money is. But previously, Apple just wouldn't allow these stores on their platform, so they were missing out on a huge number of people. And now that looks like it is going to change. It says here, the Digital Markets Competition and Consumers Bill was introduced in April 2023 and seeks to provide for the regulation of competition in digital markets. With the UK now set to have a general election on July 4th, Parliament is set to be dissolved on May 30th, at which point any unfinished business will be lost because public bills can't be carried over from one parliament to the next. And as such, numerous bills are now going through the wash-up period in which the government and opposition work together and agree on which bills should be rushed through the remaining stages so they can approve before dissolution. And the DMCC bill was one of those and has now been passed by Parliament according to the Press Gazette. So basically what this is going to mean going forward is that these gaming companies, you got the Epics, you have the Fortnites, you're going to have the Xbox in the future, you're going to have PlayStation. They can now actually sideload their stores onto Apple devices so people don't have to go through Apple's App Store to make purchases, microtransactions, and all of those things. And these companies can make more money by getting all that within their own ecosystems. I think you're going to see a lot of companies trying to capitalize on this. And again, PlayStation and Xbox will be in that fray going forward as they want to grow in mobile. They want to grow mobile to get more gamers into their ecosystem, be able to capitalize off that money, take that money, and then subsidize and be able to create these huge experiences that we all love for our consoles. And finally, the Call of Duty competitor has done fantastically well right off of the bat. They've hit 1 million unique players within 2.5 hours of launch. That is XDefiant. I've been playing XDefiant over the last couple of days. I think it's a ton of fun. I do think there is a chance here that a lot of people are going to end up loving this game for the long term. It's going to be super interesting to see what happens when Call of Duty, the new one, comes out, and how people go between both games or choose one game over the other, because there's a lot to love here about XDefiant. And again, it is doing very well. They say Ubisoft's free-to-play title XDefiant achieved 1 million unique players within 2.5 hours of its launch. Sources have told Insider Gaming at 1.5 million concurrent players were logged into the game on launch day. Admittedly, that's a lot of players who had to wait in the menu due to server issues. So yeah, there were server issues at launch. I talked about that yesterday or 2 days ago. There were server issues when this game launched, but it seems to be all fixed up now. I've been able to jump into matches, no problem. And again, really fun, cool maps, cool characters. I like the different factions that they have from the different Ubisoft titles. Lots of strategy that needs to be learned throughout this game that I'm still kind of trying to dive into and figure out. They go on here and say the milestone makes XDefiant Ubisoft's fastest ever game to reach 1 million unique players. And the numbers don't end there either. At the time of writing, 48 hours after launch, the game has just over 3 million unique players and around 300,000 concurrent players across all platforms. So there you have it. I mean, we'll see how this game continues to go, because games always take off big when they're highly touted, highly anticipated, first-person shooters specifically. So we'll see if in 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, when Call of Duty comes out, when the next Battlefield comes out, if XDefiant is still as popular as it seemingly is here at launch. But I will end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.